Grab a drink, join the chat. Let's start the show.
Hopefully I didn't scare you with my welcome to the season finale of season 2 of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. And I'm sure you can probably use your very intelligent brain to figure out I'm Lindsey Vertner. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grab your drink and join the chat. And if you've ever tuned in before, then you already know to comment, love, share this live out, okay? Because we're going to drop some gems as we always do. It's the norm over here in the Happy Hour Show. And the nuggets that you are going to get, somebody on your timeline needs them too. So comment, love, share. If you're tuning in right now, go ahead and comment where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching right now, that means you need to comment all the way live. Hey, hey, hey. We love our live viewers because we get to engage right now in the moment. And if you're catching the replay later on, it's okay. We still love you. Comment replay all day, okay? And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lindsey Vertner, and I am a peak potential strategist and transformational speaker. I am super excited about tonight's guest. So let me introduce her without further ado to close out season 2 of the Happy Hour Show. So, are you ready? Because with her signature style, bold approach, and unmistakable gumption, Miss Aqila Benjamin is bringing a new fire to the networking experience across the country. As one of the top experts in networking and collaborative partnerships, Aqila has helped hundreds of thousands of people explore how networking can change their careers and lives. Aqila has helped place professionals in a variety of industries, including fashion, beauty, and even healthcare, y'all. As a networking speaker, Aqila motivates others through her signature event, Netwerq Your Ass Off, okay? It's a tour designed to give audiences a new perspective on taking risks, connection innovations, and the power of positive thinking. And y'all know I'm all about positive thinking. Mindset mastery is my jam, honey. So without further ado, let's welcome tonight's season finale guest for season 2, Miss Aqila Benjamin. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Look, your energy, honey. I feel it through the oof.
Yes. Welcome to the Happy Hour Show. We got viewers and listeners tuning in already. Angel says, hey, queen, let's get it. She is ready, and we are ready as well. So I know I just gave a little snippet of your resume, but I want you to peel back the curtains, okay? Let's take off our glasses, take off our shades, let down our hair, and give us the real tea on who is Aqila. Tell us where you come from.
Okay, well, like most of us, multi-entrepreneurs, we wear many crowns. So I'll just, I'll say that, and then we'll get into everything later. But my name is Aqila Benjamin. Most people know me as Mimi from the Fuller Side of Things. I am the CEO of Because You Can Creative Consulting and Coaching Firm. I'm also the COO of Harvest Focus, LLC. I'm the Vice President of The Ultimate Sacrifice. And I am the creator of Netwerq Your Ass Off, which is a brand building workshop that teaches you the fundamentals of networking. And I'm the creator of NetworkCon, which is a 3-day conference that takes us back to the foundational things, and making sure that people come from all walks of life just to elevate in their brands and as far as themselves. But I am from DC.
DC in the
Okay, so
house.
DC, I was born and raised in DC. Now I live, so I grew up in DC for the most part, but we definitely moved around a little bit. But DC is my home. A lot of people don't know this, but I just relocated to North Carolina. And it's so funny because I've been telling people randomly, I'm like, yeah, I don't live in DC anymore. They're like, when the hell did you move? I'm saying, see, I literally moved in silence. So that's something I've been doing lately, moving in silence and just popping off and just be like, hey, yeah, so this happened. Um, but like you said, everything networking, everything positive, everything as far as elevating self is something that I try to implement no matter what brand or company or event or workshop that I am a part of, because it's important.
Yes, I love it. Now, with network being your whole jam, listen, when you were a child, were you the one that was like talking to everybody, making all the friends? Tell us about your childhood. How did you fall into networking?
You know what? It's so
Are
funny
you
because my mother's in the other room, and it's one of those things where as I remember back, I always was the child who wanted to, like, if there was a new kid in school, they can, I'll show them around or whatever the case may be. Or, I never was afraid to like speak up. Like, even if I say, for example, I did this thing where I felt like if the teacher was picking on someone, I would just speak up, like, well, the answer is this and this, or whatever the case may be. Like, I've
Mhm.
always been that person that spoke up, and like that was just, oh, do we have any volunteers? Sure. Even if I don't know anything, I don't know why I was that way, but you never know. Well, I guess before I was subliminally like, try to create opportunities for myself. So, I never was afraid of networking, even when like in my adult years going into retail, because that's where I really learned how to network. That's retail. People in retail don't get a lot of respect.
Mm,
They don't get a lot of
I
respect,
believe
but
that.
people don't understand. Like, we have to, like, when I was working in retail, and even when I got into management and it kicked in really hard, like, you have to literally pivot your mind when you're in those spaces, because number one, people, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people talk down to people in retail. They literally go in the store and they just feel like you're not a professional because you're selling clothes or whatever case may be. So instead of like really letting that affect me, I always gave great customer service, and no matter what team I was on, I always told them that. So it helped me connect with a lot of people. So networking, I've literally, I've been networking for as far as I can remember. It's just something I did.
I love that. And that's so good that you mentioned about people being disrespectful to retail workers or even fast food workers, especially, because it's crazy. We never know who we're talking to. And I think that that's something important to keep in mind as we go through
Yes.
our lives. Like, we are no better than the person standing next to us, and they might not look our standards of excellence, but that doesn't make them any less than, or depending on what they do, because I've seen it where people can just be absolute jerks to retail workers or to fast food workers or restaurant workers like that. And again, you never know who you're standing next to. How do you know, like, the CEO of the whole business didn't just come in and fill in, and she was just doing what the regular folks do because she didn't want to stand out.
Exactly. That is it's so funny because I was at an event, and a lady there was telling a story,
Hmm.
and she was saying that she was having a bad day. She went into McDonald's, and she said, this was after I got some bad news. The first girl that I came in contact with was the one at the counter. She said this girl was so nice to me. I was cursing this girl out, telling you can't do your job right. She said the girl didn't even break. She didn't even cry. She said she went home and reflected on that, and she
Mm.
said she went back the next day and offered this girl a job, to be like her personal assistant. Then she elevated to her executive assistant. The girl's making six figures now. And she said, that you never know. Like, she said she literally pulled that girl from behind the counter at McDonald's and just was like, hey, you need to. So I think that what you hit it on the head. Like, I don't, people just don't understand. I get, honestly, and I won't even get too ahead of myself. I've literally been stereotyped at my own event. At
Mm.
my own event. At my own event. I don't know if I can tell that story. I don't know if that's moving too forward, but
No,
I
go ahead. No, so
okay.
we're on the topic, so go ahead and tell it.
Okay. So Okay, so you guys, network your ass off. That's one of my signature workshops, and I literally produced it because I feel like people want things to fall in their lap. That's not how it works. You have to get off your ass and go, right? So this is when I had spoke on a really big platform. It was Global Entrepreneurship Week at University of Maryland, and I was at the event, and people were networking, right? So I was going around and saying thank you for coming to the event, just saying hey to everybody. And I had walked up on a group of people. No, I'm sorry. This young lady walked up on me, and she just was like, "Oh, she said, this seems fun. It got the word ass, and everybody gets a kick out of that. I mean, people just think it's so hilarious." But she just was like, "Yeah," and then I asked her what she did for a living. She told me, and then she asked me what I did. I said, and everybody looked at me because I'm like, everybody's like, "You're at her event. You don't know what she did." So number one, do your research. If you're gonna go somewhere, do your research. See who's on the panel and stuff like that, right? And I told her what I did. I didn't say it was my event, but I told her what I did. And she said, "What school did you go to?" I said, "Oh, I was going to Morgan, but I didn't decide to graduate. It wasn't for me." She chuckled and she was like, "Well, how do you qualify to do those things?" It was fine. But you know what? Again, you have to understand that because how someone else feels about you, that doesn't define your knowledge or your capabilities to execute, right? So I said, well, everybody was tense. Like everybody was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she just said that." And I was like, "Well, you're at my event. So if you would like, you could come sit right up in the front. I'll make sure that you have a chair right in the front so you can see me work." Her face was so red. Now, granted, me and her connected after that, and she actually is a really good person. She said that experience humbled her, but I think that people need to understand is you literally don't know who you're sitting next to. I don't dress like the typical CEO or COO or vice president, but that's who I am, so that's one of those things. It's just a whole networking is a lost art, lost skill that I really hope that people start to indulge in. Oh, I can't hear you.
I forgot my virtual etiquette. Like I put myself on mute when I wasn't talking, but I love that. And it's so, so true. Like we never know who we are next to. I remember one time I was seated on the plane. Usually when I'm on the plane, I like to be by myself. And I forget, like that can be a perfect time to network with the people that you are on the plane with. But in this particular time, I was just a little bit tired, and usually I like to just put on my neck pillow and go on to sleep. But I greeted the person that was sitting. This was pre-COVID. I greeted the person that was seated next to me and everything, and we started talking. Turns out he's like the CEO of some big old firm, or I don't remember what it was, and he actually needed speakers and things like that because I'm a speaker, and so you just never know who you're sitting next to. And I remember one time I was at a conference, and the organizer was saying how she had met one of the speakers who was like a big top influencer, and she was like, "I met her on the plane. We were seated next to each other and we just started talking. And now here she is dropping all these bombs at my event and things like that." And so I just think we have to treat everybody with respect.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And then I remember when I worked at the bank, people would come in all the time way back in the day when I worked at the bank. And I remember one time there was this one lady that if you looked at her, you would think that she was homeless because of her appearance, her hair, her face, and things like that. But when she came in the bank, she had bank in her bank. And then here are these people rolling up in BMWs and Mercedes and dressed to the nines, and they're complaining about overdrawn account balances all the time on the regular. And it's like, dude, get your life together. Where are your priorities? So again, like you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour show with myself, Lindsey Vertner, and my beautiful guest, Miss Aqila Benjamin. Make sure you post your questions down below so she can answer those later. Hopefully you grabbed your drink and you are prepared to join the chat, because this isn't just between me and her. This is between me and her and you at home that is listening, tuning in. So let's get back into this discussion. you were the child that always stood out and stood up for people and you took those opportunities. And so, what I heard while you were saying that was that it sounds like you were pretty fearless. Would you say that is true, or did you, like, how did
Yeah.
you overcome the doubt to just do it?
You know what? I was fearless, but I was also pretty wild. Like as I really, so I grew up Muslim, and there was a lot of things that I learned as far as the religion, and just kind of, because I'm definitely more spiritual now. I definitely believe in source and things like that. But I had the pleasure of learning about Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, things like that. So um taken from those things, what I learned the most and what I really took in on an early age of is to really be yourself. So like when it came to like being fearless, I just thought, I mean, the worst thing can happen is someone will tell me no, or I might get in trouble, or a slap on the wrist or whatever. I just wanted to make sure that I always was, you know, one with self. And even
Mhm.
before, before I understood what knowledge of self is and what being one self was, I just knew that it was the only way to be. So as a kid, I was always like you said, always making sure that I was consistent in being who I am, because I learned early on that people were fake. I learned that people were putting on a mask and things like that. And I just never wanted to be that person. So some people thought I was, they called me, I was too outspoken, or I was too this and I too that. And I'm like, well, look, whatever, but it has made me the person I am today. Now, granted, I've definitely tailored it and made, I'm a lot more professional. And because back then I was ready to just, what you say? Who you talking to? And I always tell people, I say, don't let me go back to the '06 Mimi, because that's when I graduated high school. And that was a good, that was a transition. But it definitely, like, as I reflect, I'm glad for all the experiences that I did have as a child and being exposed to so much, because even with being a child, we didn't have a lot of money. I was just talking about this, but I traveled. My mom used to pack a lunch, whether we was driving or whatever. We would drive 18-hour trips, pack sandwiches or whatever. And I know people in their adult years that haven't been anywhere, haven't been on a plane, haven't experienced this and that. So like like my mom was fearless. So I had no
Mhm.
other choice. She definitely poured that into us, my family members. Honestly, people, when they're around my family, we're all yelling and having fun at one time. We're all talking about things that we're doing that are completely fearless.
I love that. They're all talking about things that they're doing that are completely fearless. And listen, if you are not fearless at home, I hope that you become fearless, okay? And with the right guidance, you too can become fearless. And here's the thing, fear never actually goes away. Like, we like to think that we get it under control and then it's like everything's all gravy and daisies from there. But no, fear is a natural instinct for us humans. It helps to keep us alive and out of danger. What's important is that you learn how to control your fear instead of
Yes.
allowing your fear to control you, so that you can have all these opportunities and go after your dreams like our lovely guest, Miss Aqila. Uh-huh. So what advice would you give to that person? I have two questions actually from what you
Mhm.
just said. The first one, what advice would you give to that person that struggles, overcoming that fear to step out and try something new or to go after their goals?
One thing you don't want to happen is woulda, coulda, shoulda. That literally will kill your pride. That will kill your passion. Whew. As I sit back, even with the name of my event, Netwerq Your Ass Off, I got so much rejection for the word ass, and I just thought to myself, like, there's a lot of, I just knew, man, you guys, if I really honestly, if I let fear conquer who I was and stop me from doing what I was doing, I will literally not be here. And I think that what I never wanted to do, because it was happening so much, is reflect and be like, dang, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. The only thing that can literally happen to you is a closed door. But the beautiful part about that, God didn't make one door. So you have to keep going. Like, rejection is going to happen, rejection, but it's about pivoting your mind, right? It's about, really thinking the worst thing somebody can do is say no. So pivot it. Okay, why did they say no, right? They said no because maybe I wasn't ready. Like, and then also another thing about fear is that you have to understand that if you keep letting it conquer you, opportunities will literally just stop coming, right? So because you'll be so used to like fear that opportunities would just walk past you. It wouldn't even stop in your way. So you have to work a lot harder than you did before, instead of just going for it. The worst thing you can do is just have to be like, okay, because we're not claiming failure, right? We're releasing that. So the only thing that we can do is look at it as an area of opportunity. So if you didn't do well, at least you did it. At least you have metrics to reflect on it. Okay, I didn't do well. That didn't go well. All right. So what could I have done better? Who could have been on my team? I want you to use fear as opportunity to think and to pivot.
Yes. Are y'all catching all these gems? I hope so. And
Y'all
if
better
not,
get it.
after the show, go back and watch it again. Watch the replay, okay? Because these are gems that you need in your life. You know, I used to have a presentation that I would do that was called When You Fail to Live. Excuse me. See, I ain't did it in some years. But when you live in fear, you fail to live. And that's so important that you mentioned about, you know, if you're constantly living in fear, then it's going to take so much more work for those opportunities to come your way because you've gotten out of that habit. You've gotten out of recognizing it. That they just pass you by like, oh, she ain't thinking about us. Let's keep going to the next person that's hungry for an opportunity. So listen, y'all better catch all these gems, okay?
Yeah. You know what? I was on a panel at Morgan. It's so funny because here I didn't graduate from Morgan, but I was still able to be on a panel at Morgan State, which is funny as hell.
Look at that.
So no, I you know what? I never connected that. So until just now, like because people always challenge me about me not having a degree, but it is what it is. But I was on a panel.
I gotta pause you because I think it's some folks in the balcony that just missed that whole thing you said. They was listening, but they wasn't listening. They was hearing.
Girl, hold on.
They wasn't listening.
Look, hold on.
Yes. take a sip for that.
I'm gonna explain something to you guys. I'm gonna explain something. And I'm gonna be cute when I say it. A degree does not define you. Now, a goal of mine is to go back to school because I would love to have a degree and have more knowledge, right? The whole point of you going to school is to gain knowledge, to be an expert in your field, to network if you're doing it right, and everything like that, right? But what I've come encounter with is a lot of people who try to challenge me because I don't have a degree, but I have experience and I have the knowledge, right? So do I respect? First of all, going to school is not easy. So shout out to everyone that has a degree. That is not an easy thing. Shout out to everybody that has their degree and that's thriving in their industry or just trying to, find placement. But I have been offered 3 times to speak at universities. 3. And one university in particular wants me to design a program for their students because those students are lacking those soft skills, those networking connecting skills, because the school started to realize that their students after college or within college didn't know how to network, didn't know how to connect and elevate and understand that after you leave this, you're going to go into the real world. So hear me, with no degree, being offered to develop a program for this college. I've spoken at multiple schools. So I want people to understand that I understand that how fear feels, but that's okay. Amp up your knowledge, amp up your skill set, create your programs, your workshops. Don't feel the fear of not applying for speaking engagements because it's at a school, or applying to do X, Y, and Z because it's at school. Because here I am, I got to work with University of Maryland. I got to work with, oh my gosh, Bay Atlantic University, who was one of my sponsors, by the way. And then I was going to be, there's so many different schools that I've been working with, and I have no degree. Now, I like I said, I will go back to getting one, but I get underestimated all the time. But my confidence, because number one, no matter what you do, no matter what type of platform you're on, your confidence will take you to levels and heights that you can, your wildest dreams. So that is a real situation. I get challenged daily because of that.
Listen, so much. And I'm going to say it a third time for y'all. She said she does not have a degree, but she has not only spoken at schools and universities, but been asked to develop a program because she's confident in her skills and who she is. Okay.
Mhm.
Let some of y'all hide behind these degrees, because I know some folks with some degrees and it's like, child, who gave you that? Okay.
And seriously, and I think that what people need to understand is like it's great to have those accolades. Like it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, you work really hard, you spent a lot of damn money on it and everything. But I want people to understand that it's more than that. You have to have those skills of networking and learning how to connect and how to because even if you don't want to start your own business, you can still network within your workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to network and connect and be able to work on a team and things like that. So those skills, are needed. And if you got a degree, then it's a plus for you. You should feel really good about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to be confident in what it is that you do, what you bring to the table, despite what you may or may not have. Because I hear it all the time, well, I don't have this schooling, or I don't have this education, or even I don't have this money. Like, those are all excuses to me, because there's 50 million people out here that have made it without degrees. Yes, there's people that made it with degrees, but there are 50 different people that made it without $0 to their name, that made it with like a silver spoon on their mouth. And so whenever I hear people use excuses like, I don't got the education, I don't got the money, I don't got the support, that's what they are. They're excuses to me. And I often will call them out and I would say, okay, it sounds like you just don't really want what you say and you won't.
Because excuses are the tools of the incompetent. Y'all better than that. And don't claim it ever.
Oh, we gonna have to put that on the screen. You said excuses are the tools. Y'all hear me typing? Listen. I'm gonna have to get me an assistant on this show. Excuses are the tools of the incompetent. Let's get that on the screen right there.
And a young lady, like I was saying, I was speaking on a panel at Morgan State University in Baltimore, and a young lady had said to me, she was just like, you don't miss an opportunity, things like that, because I always tell people, say no more missed opportunities. But she got me. She said, opportunities don't go away, they just go to someone else. I said, oh, it hit me like a punching bag. I said, oh my God. And I mind you, I'm on the stage, I'm on poise and things like that. I looked at her, I said, excuse me, y'all, before we move on. I said, that was the most powerful thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yes. Opportunities don't just go away. They go to somebody else. Listen, that's a whole bar by itself. That's a whole episode by itself. Over here in the comments, Miss Lisa says, wow, absolutely dropping truth. And Miss Sean says, I want to speak, but get nervous. Listen, the nerves ain't ever going to go away. You just have to get up and speak. And what happens is after that first 5 or 10 minutes, you get in the flow and the nerves go away. I still get nervous sometimes, depending on who I'm talking to or what I'm talking about. And as soon as I get in my flow, it's like, who would have thought I had some nerves going on? Mm-hmm. She says, I don't have a degree, but I'm willing to step out on faith. Yes. And Mrs. Rush says, oh, wait, hold on. She says, okay. That one was okay. Can you do it?
Look, I tried. Look, let me try. Hold on. Okay, it didn't happen. Y'all know what I'm saying. Look, we heard you, girl. We heard you.
Yes. Sometimes it sounds like a bird scratching when I try it. Sometimes I get it out perfectly. Shout out to Cardi B on that one. Miss Angel says, that's why those who have done better need to mentor and seek to help bring others up. You don't know what you don't know. Exactly. Yeah. And Angel, I just want to make a comment on that, because it's not only the responsibility of those who have done better to reach back out for those that are behind them, but it's also the ones that are behind them, your responsibility to actually want that information and get out of your comfort zone to seek it, because some of y'all just want to sit on the couch and let all of the stuff come to you.
Say something. I have had, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let you do your
Go ahead.
Because, girl, you're making me feel some Hey, no, because it's about because you can, and I don't want to rush it. But like because you know, it's one of those things, you just hit something so hard. Like before my firm, I was kind of all over the place. I was doing consulting. You know, I didn't know that's what I was doing at one point. And I had a program. The program was either for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It was $49.99. And for an hour, it was $69.99. That's what I was given, right? That was my fee. I've had people from this point. Now, mind you, I'm promoting it. People dragging their damn feet. Oh, don't worry. I don't got the money right now. And I said, damn, I said, ma'am, am I charging too much? So the couple of people that did bite for the program, their businesses are excelling. Like I still in contact with them. I still have metrics. I still have all those different things. That same program has developed so much in the testimonies and the people literally making six figures and more are getting connections. The program is between $3,500 and to $5,000, right? Mind you, I was fearful of doing it. I was going crazy, but because it was 1,500 and then it went up because I started to add, I was able to add on my skills and my metrics and things like that. I struggled in people. Let me tell you, when you let go of fear, I struggled getting people to pay $49.99 and $69.99. Like I was so, and then I raised the price to $1,500. So I was like, damn, so I enhanced the program. I added more features. I added more tips and things like that, goodies and stuff. Do you know that I literally have a waiting list for that program? Now, when you let go of fear, you literally start to feel your self-worth, right? Now, those people that was dragging their feet and couldn't put $49.99 and $69.99 together now are literally saying, I cannot believe I missed out on that.
Yes. Yes. Here's the thing. When you want something bad enough, you will make a way to get it. How many times have we'll use purses or shoes, for example, because I know a lot of people can relate to that. How many times have y'all been out somewhere and been like, ooh, I want that purse or I want those shoes, but I don't got enough money for it? First of all, quit claiming you don't got enough money for something.
Come on.
And then you get home and you still thinking about it. And all of a sudden, a week later, you going back to get that person's shoes. Like you just had to have it. You will find and figure out a way to invest in the things that you want. And so many people think that when it comes to personal development, oh, I don't have the budget. That's too expensive. Why does it cost so much? The value that you are getting to change your life is priceless. Like you can't put a price, or you can't pay $500 to potentially change your life. You can't pay $50,000 to potentially change your life. You better get it while it's $4.99, because listen, Miss Benjamin, she realized the value. People making six figures off of the value that they got from me. I better raise my prices. And Miss Honey, you better raise them again.
And it's so funny because, when I was doing the program at 1,500, because I was given 6 strategy meetings. And if you understand strategy meetings, honey, it takes your energy. And then I was included creative direct. It was a whole package. And then when one of my clients doubled their revenue in 6 months, it was just like, I might need to raise this price. So I enhanced the program. I'm not just out here raising my prices just because, but I actually make sure that you guys have something that, it's a return on your investment. But what I want people to understand is that investing, I can respect someone who will go on a payment plan with me for 5 years versus someone telling me that my price is too much. I will respect. Granted, no, if you can't afford it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with asking, can I put? And another thing, now I used to do it real hard, but I don't do it as much. But sometimes if you want something, you guys can barter. I think that you guys think it's just one way to go, right? Find a way. Invest in yourself. Take a second. Talk about what you and this person can, how you guys can thrive off of each other. Because I think people are, like you said, are so lazy. I'm just going to be very upfront. People so lazy. They just want it to be a quick fix because what they see on social media. But understand that most of my clients have real ass problems that they don't display on social media. And we have to really sometimes dig deep, pray, ask for this and things like that. And for things to actually manifest, because manifestation is not something you wake up and it just happens. Manifestation takes action.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people need to stop being so lazy and invest in themselves. It's lazy.
Absolutely. Man, and like I said, you will make whatever it is that you need to make to do whatever it is that you truly want to do. So I will ask that question often, especially like if I'm hosting a clubhouse room and somebody asks a question, I will just be straight up like, okay, how bad do you really want it? Period, point blank. Because your action is showing that you don't really want what it is that you said you want it as bad as you think you do. And you likely don't believe that you deserve it in the first place, which is a whole nother turn right there. So maybe that's why your actions aren't aligning up, because you don't truly believe that you are worthy of that thing that you desire.
Yeah.
So listen, if you're just tuning in, you are watching the Happy Hour Show with myself, Lindsey Vertner, and our lovely guest, Miss Aqila Benjamin. Okay, she is the CEO of Because You Can Consulting LLC. So make sure you follow her. All right, and check her out. There's her website right there, becauseyoucanconsulting.com. You can find her on Instagram at The Fuller Side of Things. The Fuller Side of Things. And again, Because You Can Consulting. And she has been dropping some amazing gems. We've been talking about fear. We've been talking about confidence and going after the things that you want. You have to overcome that fear, okay? You've got to overcome it. You know, I referenced earlier about a presentation that I would give about when you live in fear, you fail to live. And it's so funny that she mentioned those opportunities, because as I'm giving that presentation, I share a very specific story about my husband and I when we had went to Mexico. And this was our first time. No, this was his first time in Mexico and everything. And when we went snorkeling, and listen, this is a whole presentation in and of itself, but there was a whole method behind it about how his fear almost rubbed off on me, because I was excited to go snorkeling. He was not excited to go snorkeling, because all he's thinking is, I can't swim and I'm going to die. And so I was excited, and then his fear almost rubbed off on me to where he started to make me nervous out in the middle of the ocean. Mind you, we had all the tools to successfully enjoy a snorkel trip. There were boats with life things. There was plenty of lifeguards, and we all had on life jackets. It was a requirement. And despite all the tools, he was still nervous and panicking and focused on the wrong things the entire snorkel trip. And so at one point I was like, dude, you forget you don't want my help. I'm trying to help calm you down. Well, then I'm about to go about my business because you're messing up my snorkel time. And just as I made that decision, I almost missed a giant sea turtle swim underneath me. And I mean, like huge, like I could sit on it full body. And y'all know I'm tall, like a huge Finding Nemo. That's what I call it. A giant sea turtle literally swam underneath me. So I felt something brush barely against the bottom of my foot. Like I barely felt it. So y'all heard Aqila say, like, you know, it just walks past you. I barely felt something brush along the bottom of my foot. And I looked down just in time enough to see that sea turtle swimming underneath me. And when I tell y'all, I tried to swim and kick my feet so fast to catch it and grab a picture. But listen, don't let the turtles fool you. They are fast swimmers, okay? And here's the thing, it never came back. And so sometimes when we're so focused on the wrong things and we allow fear to control our actions and we allow the fear of other people to come up on us, we miss those opportunities and they don't come back. And so y'all see, I pulled a whole lesson out of that.
Yeah. And you have to. You have to.
Crazy. It was, I'm gonna have to share that story with y'all on a live one day, because now y'all got me wanting to tell the whole story, because there was so many funnies, so many lessons, but so many funnies at the same time. Again, when you live in fear, you fail to live. And I hope all of y'all, especially if you are watching the Happy Hour Show, that you live your life without fear. Well, it's going to be there, but you control the fear so that you're
Yeah.
actually living your life. So right now, I think that this would be a great time for a little game, okay? This is the perfect time to find out exactly
What's in your cup?
if you've never watched the show, it's time for What's in Your Cup. This is the part of the show where our special guest will share what she's sipping on, and then she'll give us some cup cam. And you, the viewer and listener at home, put in the comments what you're sipping on. And if you aren't sipping on anything, I don't know what you were thinking, but it's okay. It's okay. Put in the comments what you wish you were sipping on, what you wish was in your hypothetical cup, okay? So, Miss Aqila, what's in your cup?
See me? I'm sipping on this apple juice and grape juice, and it's the whole situation. It is amazing. It is so good. Like I'm like, okay, I might have one more glass to end the evening, but yes, honey, this is this plum wine. I can't read the name on the wine. It doesn't matter. It's amazing. That's what I'm sipping on.
Yes, and then give us some close-up cup cam.
Oh yeah, so this is from the Cool Coffee Click, from Courtney Adele, the creator of what is it? The main what is the name of her brand?
The hair care line, the main choice.
Yeah. And she has this amazing like coffee brand. She's like the coffee is strong AF. So everybody curses. So y'all should get over cursing. But but yeah, the cute little cup that she has is supposed to be for coffee, but I used it for my wine.
Hey, hashtag no judgment zone. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yes. Melissa was saying preach in the comments. Angels, she's got ginger ale over there. And Miss Melissa is she's drinking iced tea and water. I wish it was wine. Listen, this is when you call on Jesus because he's the one that turned the water to wine, right? Okay. Miss Lisa has hot chocolate. Wish it was mixed with some Baileys right about now. Yes, that is the only way to drink your hot chocolate. Mix it with some Baileys, okay? And Miss Sean says, I'm drinking water tonight, but I wish it was margarita. Hey, you'll have to tell us what flavor margarita is your preference. And then Miss Renette says, a slushy rainbow sherbet with Sprite. Yes, sounds delicious. Now, over here in my cup, y'all, listen, I've been on the struggle bus this past 4 full weeks. I'm in the home stretch, and I'm trying not to give up. I feel myself slipping just a little bit because I'm not seeing the progress. I'm sure if I do a back-to-back photo, then maybe I see it. But it's not fast enough right now. It's not fast enough. So y'all know, if y'all been tuning into the show, I've been on this 6-week fitness plan, and so I'm only allowed to drink water and diet pop. And so today in my Mrs. Always Right mug, there we go. I'm drinking some cherry infused water.
Ooh.
I've got a healthy drink in my cup today.
That's fancy water. I need to get like you.
Yes, cherry infused water.
Ooh.
So no party in my cup. I've got a healthy shindig in my cup, but no wild party on tonight. Yes, Sean says strawberry, and she likes them all. Ain't that right?
This is true.
Listen, let's get back into this discussion because it was so good, so good, so good. So I know that you have, because you can consulting, you have Netwerq Your Ass Off, you have Network Con. Tell us how you got into your business.
Okay, so it all started with me doing something called social media correspondence. So when I started really heavy working in plus size retail, and then I wanted, this is when like the plus size, granted the plus size movement has always been a real thing, But when like the influencers and bloggers came out, I said, "Ooh, I want to do that." Right? It wasn't my lane. I was like, modeling, modeling. Shout out to all the models because that is a real job. I don't know why people think they could just be models. It's a real job. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to model. And then I was like, well, maybe I should do some blogging. I don't like writing, so that just wasn't happen. And then I was like, maybe I should do some blogging. I'm like, I don't want to do any of this. But again, I had to come to a realization that I need to be one with self. I said, man, what am I good at? So I said, well, let me just let me do social media takeovers. That's what it was called. And I started doing social media takeovers, and I started doing them for events because I noticed that social media was coming such a relevant and must needed marketing tool. I started telling people, I said, you should let me do your social media for your event, because one thing I learned early on is with partnerships and sponsorships, if you're applying for people to partner with you, your social media needs to be your visual resume, right? So if somebody takes over your marketing for an event, then they can make sure that it looks all pretty. Even if it's only 2 people in the room, I learned how to make it look really nice and full and exciting. So I saw that it was a big thing. And then I started doing it. And at first, of course, I was begging people to let me do it because everybody always, oh, Mimi, you're so dramatic. There's no such thing as doing social media takeovers, but okay, cool, do it. And then I did an event and they was like, oh, you're a social media correspondent. I said, ooh, that sounds fancy. So I'm going to do that. So I started doing it outside of plus size events. I started doing it for, regular events. And I think the pivot came when I, again, because fear is, I guess it's not in my vocabulary or, something I do. I end up having a management team at that point, 3P consultant. And they was like, you need a media kit. They started leveling me up. You need a bio. You need this. I said, what the hell is all this stuff? But I did it. So I started applying for, again, because I didn't wait for any opportunity to go. I started applying to be social media correspondent. And I hit it big, or like it was my first opportunity when I did the Amber Rose Slut Walk in LA. And they said they never had a social media correspondent, but okay, we'll try it out. And if you know anything about the event, it's a huge event, and it's it is to advocate against rape culture, homophobia, body shaming, and things like that. Because their whole theory behind the slut walk is, no matter what I'm dressed like, no matter what I do for a living, no means no, and I have a right to my body, to my body, and things like that. So, long story short, as I, that was the longest part, but as I'm going to these events, right, doing social media correspondent, I started to network with people, right. And people struggled to tell me what they did for a living. Like they didn't understand the art of the elevator speech, right? So I remember thinking like, damn, or I'm saying hello to people. Mind you, they don't know who I am. So they're being nasty, they're being rude, or whatever the case may be. And I was like, man, networking is really a diluted skill. Like, it's just like, it's non-existent at this point. So I said, I want to teach people how to network. Now, I'm not going to, because what happens is you go to events, but do you really know how to network? Do you know how to leave with a certain percentage of connections? Do you know what to do, what to say? Do you know how to follow up after you make these connections? So I decided to teach the fundamentals of networking, not how important networking is, but actually how to do it. And that's when Netwerq Your Ass Off came about. And as I was doing it, I literally seen people like, this brought me so much clarity. And it wasn't just lower level people. These were executives. These were business owners, and people just was like, I didn't know how serious networking was. And then it got so big that I spoke on the panel. I spoke at Google twice. Like I said, Global Entrepreneurship Week. I was speaking at different universities, creating my own event with Broccoli City Fest. Like, it was just so many different things. People was like, networking is such a big thing, and people don't know how to do it. Because one thing I know people do is they pay thousands of dollars to go to conferences, right? For events, and all they do is take a picture for Instagram. But what did you make? Right? Or they go to an event and they want to speak to a celebrity, right? They want to speak to a celebrity. Honey, let me tell you something. That is not, the people don't understand. You have to read the room. It's almost like you got to be like the Terminator and just like kind of see the because you can't speak to the celebrity. I mean, you can say hello, get your picture real quick, but it's the people around them that you have to network with. It's their management team, it's their stylist, it's their cousin, it's their whoever they got their entourage, because that's how you got to be very strategic with networking. And I don't think people understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I personally still get DMs and emails without people saying hello. Can we work together? Who the hell are you? I don't know who you are. But again, that is a skill that people are lacking because they want instant gratification. But hello can take you a long way. So that happened. Network Your Ass Off. I went everywhere. I went to the West Coast. I went to Canada. I even got invited before, when COVID hit, to Africa. And it was one of those things where people wanted more. So then NetwerkCon came about. I connected with one of my partners was Brian O's of Black Speakers Network. Shout out to Brian. I love you. I was going to have over 30 speakers, and it was going to be a whole thing because I wanted it to be a foundational conference, because as I was moving forward, I was still going to conferences, but they talked about networking, but they didn't teach how to network. I think that every event or every conference, this is just my personal opinion, I think that you should always start your event off with the networking 101s. So
I love that.
So your attendees can maximize, and then they will always remember how many connections they made at your event. So they will be a returning. That's just me. Y'all could take that tip and take it to the bank, honey. That's
Look, she gave you, there's your freebie. Okay. You want some more, you're going to have to invest.
So that's when NetwerkCon came about. And then I started to realize that I was, as my skills were advancing and things like that, I was able to give consultations, because under my consulting firm, I don't just do the identity program, the identity program, honestly, it doesn't matter what level of business you're in. If you're just starting your business, you're a vet in your business, whatever, you need to identify what you're actually doing. What is your true passion? What is your lane? Who are your target audience? How are you grasping them? Do you know your metrics? What are your X, Y, and Z? Like I make sure that we really gut your business down so we can rebuild it, right? Reconstruct, rebuild. But I have different programs like how to help you recruit and design your brand ambassador program. Of course, networking 101. I can help you design professional development, workshops for your team. Oh my gosh, there's so many different services that are offered, but they're all foundational, because I think that people, and I'm trying to teach people, it's not going to happen overnight. Let me tell you, not too long ago, and I should have bought one of my shoes in here, I was literally networking so much and putting my feet to the pavement. I had no heels on my feet, on my shoes. And people don't understand, like, it's not going to be instant, because who would have known, But I always tell the story. I say, you never know. You have to keep going, because not too long ago, I had to give up my car for voluntary repossession. And here I am. I literally networked my ass off into 6 figures.
Okay.
So I think people need to understand that you have to keep going. And that was my whole mission with starting any of the ventures that I've done.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Over here in the comments, Melissa says, thank you. Exactly. They connect and then they invite you to join their course or free group. Y'all, on my nerves, okay? Whatever they can do to sell without building a relationship. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, the quickest way to get unfriended with me right now is I got over 1,000 friend requests that sit on my Facebook daily, okay? And so if I accept your friend request and then you turn around and say, hey, thanks for accepting my request. I thought you'd be a great member in my group, and here's all my info about all my stuff and all my group, I'm going to turn right back around and say, unfriend.
You can go on ahead with that. Or how about this? Your ass keep tagging me and stuff on Facebook, promoting your business. That is poor marketing etiquette. Stop.
Did y'all catch that one? Man, I can think of 5 people off the top of my head that constantly tag me in posts. It don't ever reach my profile page, but they constantly tag me in posts. It's one thing if I'm doing this because I want y'all to see and pay attention. It's one thing if I decide that I want to share, or if I say, yes, tag me in that with my permission. But it's another thing if every other day you tagging me in a post. And see, even when, listen, y'all got it so messed up that even when I have a post that you are legitimately, I promise y'all it's just water, a part of, once I start tagging everybody, I be getting nervous like, Dang, I hope they don't think this is a spam because, like, their name's right here, their picture's right, like, they're really a part of this post. Y'all, over here in the comments, Melissa says, I love that you provide the foundation for the skills. You can't build a house without a good foundation.
Talk
Yes.
about this.
And Angel, look, that means she sees it. She sees it. And Melissa says, oh, Lindsey, when they do that to me, I send them a lecture and an offer to my sales course. Hey, that's how you got to hit them. You got to turn around and hit them like that. So listen, if y'all are just tuning in, I can't believe we're already at the top of the hour. You done missed it. Listen, what a phenomenal way to end season 2 of the Happy Hour Show. And if you want to stay updated when season 3 begins, then make sure you go to bit.ly/happy updates. You see it scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We'll be back in a few months with season 3. If you are phenomenal at what you do, then apply to be a guest, okay? Listen, apply to be a guest. That's not the link that you apply to, but in the caption somewhere, you will see the link where you can apply to be a guest for season 3. It has just been so amazing. So real quick, share your number one networking tip for the peoples.
Oh, that is, be confident no matter what you're saying. Be confident. I don't care if you started your business in the car on the way to the event. You speak with confidence and you always make sure that no matter what, you are one with self. There's a lot of sharks and there are a lot of wolves that go to these events. Wolves be in sheep clothing. They're there to knock you off. They're there to make themselves look like they're this prestigious person, right? They will challenge you, but you always stay confident in what you're doing. There's a lot of sharks there. That doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Think about it like Shark Tank. So you want to make sure that no matter what you're talking about, that is a potential investor. Be confident in your products and services. That is my number one networking tip.
Yes, I love it. Be confident, because confidence can go either way, because you can be confident in something bad and influence people negatively. But at the same time, listen, that's how much confidence works. That's how powerful confidence is. I'm going to share with y'all a quick story. So one time I was working, this was some years ago, and I was busy, and then I went to check my voicemail, and despite having a planner that I live by, and despite my scheduled appointments and everything like that, I listened to my voicemail, and there was a message from someone, and they had said the wrong date. I think they said it was like the 14th or something, but they were so confident in that delivery of the voicemail that I started to question myself. I was like, today's the 14th? Dang. Ain't no way it's the 14th. Am I messed up on my schedule? Today's the 14th? Like, I was legit thinking that I had the date messed up because he was so confident in his voice. Like, it wasn't no waiver. He confidently said, today is Wednesday the 14th. And I questioned myself. And then after I pulled out my planner, I was like, wait a minute, ain't no way that it's the 14th, because my Wednesday schedule is different from my Tuesday schedule. And I had to laugh at myself, like, see, the power of confidence. He had me fooled. Y'all got to be confident. Over here, Miss Shine says, wow, many powerful nuggets. Yes, that's what the Happy Hour Show is all about. Miss Melissa says, thank you. I am seriously always happy I'm happy when I get to join in, and we appreciate you tuning in. Yes, you have great guests and you are amazing. Keep it going. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it. And Shine says, thank you. And that is her problem. Well, you know what? It's only a problem if you say it's a problem. So we're going to focus on the positive. And from here on out, you say, I am confident in all that I do. Okay? Yeah. So start speaking that over your life. And Miss Lisa says, I love it. Speak with confidence, even if you just started your business on the way to an event. That part.
Absolutely.
And for those of you that don't have businesses, speak in confidence, period, with your own skills and talents and purposes as well. So it goes across the board, not just for business owners and entrepreneurs and everything like that. So, Miss Aqila Benjamin, I have one last question for you as we wrap it up, all right? So I am all about living a first-class life, which obviously you are doing. And for those of you that are unaware, a first class life is one where you walk boldly, authentically, and unapologetically as who you are, flaws and all. You shed away, take off those masks of fear, mask of doubt, mask of living up to other people's expectations of who they think you should be. You take all of those masks off, okay? And you fully walk in your purpose, and you are intentional about the quality of life that you create for yourself. And so my final question to you is, how do you intentionally create happiness in your life?
I definitely, when I do my affirmations, I make sure that I do them with intentions. I'm not doing it because it's a fad. I'm not doing it to really please anyone else. I really look myself in the mirror. I make sure I penetrate my own soul, and I speak life into myself. So I do everything with intentions.
Yes. Intentional, y'all. Y'all have to be intentional. So true. So true. So true. So tell everybody where they can find you, how they can connect with you. Do you have anything coming up that the people need to know about?
Yes. So you guys can follow me on Instagram. You can visit my website. You can always email me, but Instagram has all of my platforms. Like my main influential digital influencer page has all of my links, and the motto you'll see at the top, because you know it's me, it's going to say, let me help you get your shit together, because that's literally what I'm here for. And as far as what's coming up, I'm going to relaunching some more workshops with Netwerq Your Ass Off. But I am doing for sure Netwerq Con. I pushed my baby back. I pushed her back to next year. So Netwerq Con, of course, we're not welcoming hundreds of people in person, but we're still going to have the digital side of the virtual side. But I will be having a small amount of people that can come in person. So Netwerq Con is definitely happening. I will be launching the tickets and the line for people to collaborate as far as partnerships and sponsorships and things like that. Very soon.
I love it. I love it. Listen, y'all see her info right there on the screen. Because You Can Consultant. BecauseYouCanConsulting.com is her website. And for my audio listeners, the fuller side of things on Instagram. She said when you go there, then you'll see all of her platforms as well. So I want to thank our super phenomenal guest, Miss Aqila Benjamin, to round out season 2 of the Happy Hour show. Tonight was the season finale, y'all. So listen, until we come back with season 3, I need you to sign up for updates at bit.ly/happy updates. Go to YouTube and binge watch season 1 and season 2 and get your life together, okay? Take a step, take some type of action step until you make the choice to say yes and invest in yourself to take yourself to that next level. So I want to thank our guest again. You see her information. Make sure you please reach out, BecauseYouCanConsulting.com, and at the fuller side of things on Instagram. It has been another phenomenal season, another phenomenal episode, another phenomenal guest here on the Happy Hour show. And I'm so excited that you have spent your hour with us here right now, because I know you could be doing anything in the world, but you're here with us. And I'm so grateful for you, for tuning in, for watching, for engaging. Even if you didn't comment anything, we still love you and we're grateful. So with that, y'all, have a blessed and abundant day, evening, night, morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Have a blessed and abundant week. Have a blessed and abundant month and the next couple months until we return with season 3 of the Happy Hour show. All right. Bye, y'all.
Guys.